This is not my first rodeo. All right, so we're going to talk about some fundamentals. Now, why would we want to talk about fundamentals to an experienced group, except for Jasmine, like this? Why would we want to talk fundamentals? Why would we want to talk back to basics? Cannot disagree with that. Completely concur. But let's talk about the last 2 years. Has the last 2 years been the best 2 years in the history of the car business to be an automobile salesperson? Why?
Lack of inventory, the war, the chips, the shortages, prices are up.
Well, for the first time I've been doing this for 43 years, for the first time in my 43 years, demand went up as supply went down. And what happens is profit goes way up. So it's been a great 2 years. You think 2023 is going to be the same? No. I think we're going to get a little bit, we'll get back to closer to whatever a new normal is going to be. So that's why we want to revisit some of the basics. Now, the basics we're going to revisit today are meet and greet, needs assessment, and advocating for your F&I benefits, or as I put it, advocating for all things Galpin. Okay? If I buy a car, new or used here, and I buy some products in F&I that keep me tied to the store, I use your service department, I use your parts department, I use your body shop, am I more likely to buy my next vehicle from you? 17 times more likely. 17 times more likely. And because you guys have got a very stable sales team, Jasmine, when I told you joined a great organization, I wasn't kidding. Okay, I work with 82 different stores across the country. This is the second largest sales team. The first largest is this is the second largest sales team, and it's got the fewest amount of turnover of all the stores I work with. The other organization that's got a larger sales team turns their people over monthly. Okay, completely different culture. So you joined a superb dealership. So if for those of you that have been in the business, Silas, to be successful in the long term as an automobile salesperson, is it good to have a clientele? It's almost a requirement. Of all the salespeople I know who make big money, $100, $200, $300, $400, $500,000 a year, none of them show up every day and stand outside waiting for an up. Okay? You do that when you're brand new. But you don't do it if you do the business right. You create a clientele. You become a lot of people's favorite automobile salesperson. That's what you want to strive to be. You can't do it in the first couple months, but you can do it in the first couple years very easily. And the way you do that is obviously you treat the customer right the first time, but then you make sure that customer never forgets you. Harvin, 100 people bought a car a year ago today in this market. What percentage of them, statistically speaking, can give you their salesperson's name?
Maybe 30%. 5%.
You're close, 10%. 10% of the people that bought a vehicle a year ago today, this is anywhere in the country, can give their salesperson's name. And by the way, your average price of a new vehicle these days is $48,000. Your average price of a new vehicle has dropped from 30 down to about 28. Okay? So are these big ticket items? I spent $51 last night on dinner. I can tell you the bartender's name. And I spent $51. Now, I probably won't be able to tell you her name tomorrow, but at least I can tell you her name today. But she's not going to follow me up. That's not her job. But if I buy a car from you, Fred, is your job to stay in touch with me? Your job is to make sure I never forget who you are. Because if I don't, I'm just liable to not just come back and buy another vehicle from you, but I'm liable to send people to you. Because most people, when they wake up this morning in this market and they decide they're in the market for a new or used vehicle, where do they go? They go to the internet. Silas, where should they go? They should call their favorite salesperson and say, hey, time for a new vehicle, time for a used vehicle, need one, want one, whatever.